Hello, welcome to Tae Kwon Do Training. I'll be instructor for today's show, Bob Lemire. All right, what we're going to do on today's show is something really easy and a block that I always love using, especially during sparring. And it's we call it a palm block. All right, and you know, in Tae Kwon Do, most of our blocks are a smashing hard type of block, so that we don't only block, but we inflict injury on anyone attacking us. A palm block is a little different. I always thought of palm block as it was sort of a kung fu move. If you remember kung fu, there was a slow motion type of ballet type of defense. But a palm block is used especially in sparring. And I'm going to show you a couple of different variations and with some counters. Okay, so we're going to do a palm block, different variations of palm block, and with a counter. And I've done palm blocks before, but I like to add some more different counterattacks with it, just you know, so that you have a good repertoire of martial arts. All right, so palm block, and you're going to see palm block as, you know, but we say we make a knife hand. All right, you make that knife hand with the thumb up against your index finger around that area, and you know, bend your fingers almost like a spare finger or a knife hand. And the reason for that, to keep everything nice and tight so that your fingers aren't loose. All right, so that if you do the palm block and you get kicked, your fingers don't all crumble. All right, you keep it nice and tight. Now you got a weapon. You're going to notice every once in a while as I'm talking to you, my fingers might be loose. And even when I do spar, you know, after 50-something years of training and fighting, you get kind of lackadaisical, is a good word, where you know, you're just using the block because you've done it so many thousands and thousands of times. Then you know you're not making that stiff. You know, if I make it really stiff here, it feels stiff as I want this fluid motion. Say a low section block, if it's tight, all right? So I want you to practice it tight. When I practice these blocks, practice them tight, and try to get into that habit, all right? You might see my fingers do this a little, and you say, he's not supposed to do that, and you're right. All right, so palm block, as I said, say you're going to do a knife hand, all right? You know, a knife hand strike or a spare finger, same type of motion, all right? Your fingers are a little bent, the top middle finger bend, and the others will follow, not like this, just a little, so that you can't, you know, for some reason, if they're not going to spin back, they'll at least go in the right direction. And you're pressing your thumb nice and tight, which constricts this muscle back here and makes it tighter, especially for a knife hand strike. All right, so what we do is, I'm going to show you some basic stuff for the palm block, and you say, wow, look how easy that is, and you should be able to use it if you ever have to do self-defense or if you're sparring at your class and whatever. You're going to say, this is very easy. Not like you have to do all kinds of training for something like this. All right, so your hands are up, fighting stance. Fighting stance, remember, just like walking. You stay in that stance, shoulder width apart. All right, nice and loose. All right. If my hands are up here and someone says he's going to throw a jab at me, say a jab or throw a punch, straight punch, and my hands are here, and it's coming for my face, all right? Oh, look at this. All right? I'm here. My hands are already up, so it's coming for my face, right? All right? I'm redirecting it. I'm not hurting them, all right? I'm not slamming hard down on them with the hard block. Which as I say, a lot of our blocks in Tae Kwon Do, it's a smashing art. All right, you want to come at us and we want to throw that block, we're going to hurt you. This is a little more relaxed, but it redirects. And by redirecting, sometimes by redirecting someone's attack, sets them up for you to hit. And I'm going to show you. So you're here, you're in a fighting stance. You're in a fighting stance here. Your hands are up. Someone throws a punch, right or left. All right? Doesn't matter. They're coming in straight. Right? You're going to just, the minute it's coming in, you're just going to tap it down. You're going to tap it down. Now, you don't have to go, whoa. You want to at least, look at it, coming for your face. You want to tap it down. All right? And kind of be relaxed. Now, as you tap it down, if I was throwing a punch, all right, a jab or a long, and you tapped it down, it drops me down into my attack. So they're coming in, they're going to throw that punch, I drop it, boom. As I do this, their hand comes down here, I go right over, all right? Throw a punch right to their face. That's easy. So whether it's a jab is that, if you're a righty, the jab's your left, your right's straight right punch. Look at it. If your hands are up here, and I'm only using my left now. See how I'm staying loose? You practice in the mirror. If you go in the mirror, this is what we call shadow boxing, right? And boxes, in martial arts, we do it also. We stay in the mirror and we throw all kinds of kicks to ourselves, just to get the form and get the workout, right? And get the feel. You're in the mirror this way, right? You relax. If you're fighting someone wants to attack you and you say, okay, well, you're going to have to fight them, right? Now you get into this stance, your hands are up here, they're going to kind of realize you know what you're doing if you practice, right? So now you're here, and they have been training because now they don't know what they're doing. Now if they want to come at you with even if it's a crazy punch, you drop it. You let the punch come a little, all right? That sets you up for a punch, right? Same thing if I want to use the right hand. I'm already here. So it's not like I have to pick my hands up and block. I'm already here. I'll let gravity almost help me, right? So I'm here. Wait, boom, boom. Right? They're coming in at my face. See how fast that could be? Boom. Here. If you have to make a feint back or a little move back this way, you can. One. Now, again, as they're coming in with their attacks, their punch. As I direct it, it drops them down because they go boom, boom. I just drop them down, and that little dropping down here sets them up because they're still coming in a little. Boom, you're going straight in. Very easy. So you go in the mirror and you practice. Right? Do both sides. I'm a righty, which means I'll set up with my left so that I can hit with my right. All right? And I can always, in Tae Kwon Do, we do right and left. We try to make sure we do the exact same thing over and over, all right, so that we have the equilibrium on both. And I could do the same on the opposite side. But if I really had to use this in any kind of situation, I'd set up with my strong side. Even my right is my strong side with my kick. So if your strong side's a little farther back, here they both back, it sets you up for a quicker and a stronger hit because you've got more momentum. Whereas the front, all right, you don't have that momentum because you pick up your leg and you're not swinging it a little. All right, so if you're a lefty, then you do the opposite side a lot. But you want to practice both sides all the time. All right? So you're here. You're in the mirror, okay? Moving around, looking good, all right? Doing the rope-a-dope here. You're doing the shuffle, all right? Muhammad Ali shuffle. I don't know if you remember that. I'm showing my age again. All right? Moving around, just trying to relax, swapping hands. All right? We'll add to that, all right? So say someone throwing a punch. Instead of coming down, I'm going to do a side, right across here, all right? Say they want to do two punches. I'm going to go pa, pa, all right? 1, 2, all right? Pa. The first punch comes in, 1, 2, 2, all right? 1, 2, 3. How's that? Pretty easy. You can make up any kind of combinations that you want, all right, that you feel comfortable with, any attacks, but you want them to flow. And when I say you want them to flow, wow. See how that goes together? And my body's, and as you get higher in rank, you get the hip jog, all right? So you pa, pa, pa. You're snapping that hip and you're throwing the punches, and the block's really quick. All right, so just a side to the front, I always like boom, dropping it down, just for the fact that I'm coming up over, all right? Same thing with the both sides. Down, down, down. Look at it. Not coming here, I'm not going down here. All right? This is an inner forearm block. This is a palm block. In a forearm you could do, but you're tightening it up a little. You're trying to smash. You're trying to hurt their hand. They want to throw that punch. Bah! This is a little different. This is setting you up for a combination. So that's here or down here. All right? And just keep practicing that in the mirror with your friends, and if they had pads. And if this is something you can, because if your friends are throwing punches at you, you can always snap down. Just make sure they don't hit your hands and break your hands. You don't want to break your fingers. All right? Move around, move around. Try to pick up some speed. It's a nice little, it's almost like slapping, but you're redirecting it. We also have palm block for, say, a low section front round kick or a front snap kick or any kind of low kick or a midsection kick. Excuse me. I always like this, this block, especially sparring in competition. Again, it redirects, or it blocks the kick coming in, and you counter with another kick or a punch. All right? So again, you're in a fighting stance. You're in your fighting stance. All right? Someone wants to throw, say, a front round kick or, say, a front snap kick, and they're sparring. You have pads on and stuff, and a lot of times we have pads all over our forearms and our hands, and you know, we gear up really for a safety-wise compared to what we did back in the 80s and the 70s. We were nothing. We were old pads here, and that was it. All right, maybe a cup. No headgear, and people got hurt. People got hurt, and as people got better in the martial arts and faster, few people died in competition. So they had to, you know, same with boxing, they have to start wearing headgear, especially when they practice, but they had to wear a lot of gear because most of the tournaments were on a hard floor. A lot of the tournaments were on a basketball court. We just tape it off, and it's on the hard. So what would happen is a reverse round kick or a front round kick or something knock someone out, they'd knock them out, and they'd pass out in midair, then slam their head on the floor and crack their skull open. Pretty gross and morbid, I know, but I'm telling you the facts. Whereas today they have mats, but you still have the full gear. Boxing, the ring it's padded. It's not padded. It's like a trampoline almost. Right? It's you hit your head and you're gonna bounce. It's not gonna feel good, but it's not gonna be that hard floor. All right, so sometimes I go off into another subject, don't I? All right, so here we go. I'm sparring with you. You throw a kick. Now notice I gave it a little skip back. All right? So I'm sparring. If I go like this, they threw a front round kick, all right, and it missed me, but I kept it going. Then I come in, I hit them in the midsection. All right? You go high section, whatever you want. But you want that quick midsection. So you're sparring. So you practice this in the mirror with your friends. They throw, what I'm doing is I'm here, I'm redirecting. Again, I say like Kung Fu. We're not smashing. We're redirecting, and then we're coming in with the smash. Yeah, all right? So whether it's a front snap or any kind of kick that you know you can get this block, and you practice the kicks and you practice the timing. Everything is timing. You're sparring with your friends, or you're sparring, you practice over and over and over. You start seeing your timing, how you can counter, so that you can get the maximum power and speed. All right, so I'm here. All right? I'm here. They throw the kick. See how I, all right? You're setting yourself up to hit them, knowing they're going to throw that kick. All right? And you can swap both sides. All right? Here, they try to setting up. All right? I don't even have to step back. All right? From here, I can just do the block and kick. but I always do step back, all right? I always get that. I don't want to get hit, all right? So you practice just a couple of inches, all right? I'm here, cha, all right? That's probably enough where they wanted to hit you full, but they miss, all right? And when they miss, cha, boom, they've gone by you, all right? Especially if they're throwing the kick that's coming in this way, and I let it go that way. I keep letting it go, all right? Or if it's a front snap kick, I drop, boom, come in. Again, you can throw any kick you want, but you want to be, it's got to be fast, and you want to be getting that motion of the flow. You want to get the flow, all right, pow, pow, so that you're not fighting yourself, all right? A lot of people don't understand that. They'll want to throw any kick, but they didn't get the flow. They're picking up their leg, and they're fighting any kind of power that they could have already generated in that position. See that? See, it's almost like, you're a bow and arrow, or you're chambering a gun. You're boom. All right? It sets you up. All right? Look at. And there's your momentum. There's your power, and there's your speed. So you practice that. Look at it. Just keep practicing that. And see how I'm going very lightly and relaxed with my hand, so that it's fast. I'm not going tight. I'm here. Look at how it's smooth. You got to be smooth with that, and that's just practice. Now doing this isn't hard, right? Right? And doing this isn't hard. You do them together, and then doing this and then front round kick. It's not hard. Right? It's easy technique. You can do this here in front snap kick, or you can do this here in reverse round kick, spin back kick. I want to keep it basic tonight, and just keep my my focus on your palm blocks. So you have down here, up here. You have to the side. You have down here. Right? One more I'm going to show you. It's a little more advanced, but. Boy, does it work good, especially for, say, a side thrust kick or a front snap kick. It's an upward palm block. Right, so you're here. See, I'm up here. I'm staying up here because I don't know what's coming at me. But I drop it, and then I come back up here. What happens is they throw a front snap kick, or they throw a front round kick, and I can get to it. I see it coming. I step back, and I can get under it. I can flip them over or get them off balance with my hand, all right? And there's something you want to practice a lot if you want to do it. But it works so well if you do connect at the right time, and they throw a front round kick, and you can pick that up, all right? You can pick it up as the front round, whether it hits you or not. Hit you, you come up here, palm block, you're picking the leg up as high as you can. Now they're up in the air. All right, and you can counter with that. So that's an upward palm block. All right. Problem is with the palm blocks, again, even if you had your hands real tight, it's not as safe as when you have tight fists. Your fingers and your toes, all right, they're these digits that want to break. All right. And I have to, I'm being truthful. Everybody goes, oh, I don't know if Tae Kwon Do is good for my children. They'll break their fingers and their toes. If you really pay attention and stay away from people, especially in the beginning, and I'm not saying that I haven't broken all my toes and all my fingers. I got a couple that I didn't break. But out 50 years of fighting and stuff, things happen, all right? Part of the game. And when you break your toes, you take tape and you tape it up and you get back out in the ring. That's what happens. But what happens is when your hands are tight, and I especially new students, I like to have them practice a lot of blocks, all right? Blocks with their hands tight, all right? Just to get them used to the blocks and moving their hands around and not having the digits ready to snap. If I go like this and all of a sudden a front round hits my baby finger, all right? And you know how easy it is. Everyone's had an injury on their fingers one time or another. And a lot of people are broken. You don't want to dislocate it. You don't want to do it. You want to be healthy and trained. All right? So everything we show you, we have to counter and let you know that if you're not careful and you don't do it at a slower pace so that you can learn, you're going to get injured. Now you're going backwards because now you're in a cast or you've got a broken finger. And it takes a while to heal. Toes are the same. Everyone's one, especially when you get older. You've broken a toe one time or another. Or you've hit it so hard that you don't walk for a month, right. But as I say, what they do is they tape it up. Maybe pull it out a little if it's really bad, tape it up, and there's your cast, Now you put your shoe on, and that acts like a cast. That's why when we throw a lot of kicks, and a lot of my kicks, we want to make sure your foot's in the right position. Because if your foot's not in the right position when you throw, especially without sneakers, break your toe. All right? Even if you were to hit a soft part of your opponent, your toes are weak, and you can't build them up. I know you've watched all these movies, guys digging into rocks and sand and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, it don't take long before arthritis would set in, and they'd probably be hard as a rock and really strong hands, but you're not be able to move them. You really can't abuse your fingers and your toes because they're little joints, and it's hard. You can't lift weights with them or anything, so you got to protect them. All right. So palm block, we'll just review just for a second. Hand this way. All right. Look at. And you don't have to be this way when you have a palm block. Your hands closed. Keep them nice and tight. If you had to block with your hand tight, that's fine. Right? It could be a closed fist block. Right? 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 But to me, the palm block is I actually did it when I used to do a little boxing when I was younger, and I was training for boxing and Tae Kwon Do tournaments. I figured, while I'm training, might as well get into everything. And I would do that boxing. Right? I'd have my boxing gloves on, and when they would throw a jab, or they want to throw a right, I'd wait. I'd sit there and wait. The minute I seen it coming, I'd try to meet it. You get good at it after a while. Try to meet it and go over. So I'd meet it, because I had the boxing gloves on, so my hands are this way. I'd meet it, block them down, and then I'd come right over. Beautiful move. And it's funny, because I thought I was, hey, I got it going. Well, I remember fighting someone from Boston who was a really seasoned boxer. So I blocked, went like this. He blocked me and went over and hit me. All right, so you can't be a big shot. He countered my counter. I don't know what to do. So I wasn't ready for that. That's funny. And there's always someone, if you always think that you're the best thing around, there's always that the new gunslinger in town. So you got to practice. And not get too cocky with yourself. Right? But again, hands up. You want to do a palm block, keep your hands, you can keep them tight. Open it up. And this makes it quicker, all right? This makes it quicker. And yet you're going to have friends with pads upside down coming at you this way, all right? And every time they do, you practice. Right? You just practice. How easy is that? You're not even doing much. Look at it. This is the move you're doing. Your hands are up here. Someone wants to throw crazy punches. Let them throw the crazy punches. Down. All right? And as they're throwing their crazy punches, and they might not know what they're doing, hit them in the midsection with a front round kick or a front snap kick. Front round kicks and front snap kicks are perfect for that type of block. Right? They get right in there. You're going in to the groin area, midsection, maybe even high section. And it's an easy kick. It's an easy kick to maneuver. And if you ended up, someone threw a punch and you blocked it, okay? And you blocked it, you can hit them up in the head area because they're coming down this way. Or a reverse round kick or what have you. So when you practice these, relaxed, palm block to the side, right? Palm block down this way, palm block, look at, see how I directed maybe a kick coming around? And as I say, you practice, All right, you're here, you're here. The kick goes to the opposite direction. You open them up. That means you've opened them up a little. You're coming into the ribs. All right. Anywhere in the ribs, you can break them very easy, especially if you hit them in the right spot. Especially the floating ribs that are down here. Doesn't take much to give them a little snap. Pain is phenomenal when you break a floating rib. Can't breathe, can't laugh, can't sleep, can't do much. So your opponent, he's kind of paralyzed with that shot rib action there. Our pads would come up to here. So a lot of times you'd see people throwing a lot of midsection. They're trying to break a rib. They're trying to go behind that pad and snap that little rib back there or bruise it, you know. It's about all the time we have tonight. Half hour flies by. Thinking about doing an hour show at one point, but I don't think my vocal cords can handle it. I do a lot of talking. Even when you're practicing these hand techniques, stretch a little before. Open up your arms. Get warm. When you're doing any kicks, warm them up a little. If not, you can injure yourself just by the muscle being cold and not warm. And just, you know, you can really injure yourself if you don't loosen up and start doing really quick action. All right? So you try to think of that. Use different techniques that work for you. Everyone's body is different. And if you do techniques that work for you, you can get a nice set of routine of this is your stuff. All right? Especially if you practice a lot and you start doing some sparring, you'll be really happy with these blocks and these counters. Once again, that's all the time we have tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. Till next time, have fun and train hard.